Pandemic continues here in the United States. 39 states have closed public schools. Over 43 million children are at home. Some of them will be at home for the rest of the year. This year's standardized testing has been canceled as teachers, parents, and students struggle to adjust to this new normal. Joining me now, Geoffrey Canada. He's the president of Harlem's Children's Zone. Jeff, this is a tough one. It's 2020. We, in theory, have all the equipment and ways to, broadcast from where you are. I'm here in my home, and it looks like a TV set. But for millions of parents and children, they are not equipped to homeschool, whether it's the physical equipment, the discipline necessary, the supervision of those parents. Are you worried about what the effect of this could be with a whole lot of kids who are, some might be enjoying staying home, but they may not be getting the education they need?
Ali, first of all, thank you for focusing on children. I don't think we've spent enough time really thinking about this unprecedented situation we have in this country. Millions of children suddenly and dramatically sent home under some threat that they can't see, don't understand, into homes where parents are losing their jobs. They're desperate. They don't know what to do. And suddenly we're going to act like these kids are going to be able to function normally. I think that we've got to really spend time talking with parents, helping them figure out how to create a learning situation for their children that's going to protect and nurture them under these really dramatic and difficult circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, you and I for years have been talking about the distinctions between private schools and charter schools and public schools and magnet schools, and the distinctions in the way professional paid teachers and principals deal with students. And now we've got a situation where so many of my colleagues, some of whom are responsible for this show being on the air right now, are at home with children in a circumstance. Parents are fantastic at raising their children. I think you and I know that. But parents under financial stress who have to do their jobs from home and educate their children at the same time, that is not an expertise we have developed.
It's not an expertise. And I would just like to say to parents, you all have to work with us. We're making this up as we go along. We haven't figured out really how to do this, and we're trying. And there are going to be lots of mistakes, but just trust that all of us are trying to figure out how to keep you and your children safe while educating them all at the same time. And it's going to be difficult because we're sending a message. These kids have to stay inside. And a lot of places, there's no room, that there's multi-generations. We have to protect the elderly sometimes because we don't know whether or not we're passing on coronavirus. These are very complicated situations. And quite honestly, we need to be giving parents and children more help than we're doing right now.
You do a lot of your work in Harlem. There are a lot of children in Harlem who are a microcosm of children across the country, students who get 1 to 2 meals a day at school. In some cases, it may be the most nutritious meal they get. Hungry children can't study. We know that. It stunts their growth. Tell me about what you think is happening and should be happening with to the degree that schools are, in addition to places where children get an education in America, many public schools are the place in which children eat their food.
Well, you know, here in New York City, they came up with a really good plan that we're supporting, which is to prepare lunches and breakfasts for children where they can come pick them up and leave and not congregate where we're worried about children passing the virus among one another. There are designated schools in New York City where students can get this food. But we also know that every parent is not going to be able to figure out how to do this. And so we've got to think more deeply about how we make sure food is getting to children who really need it. And maybe they can't come out to go and pick the food up. But right now, I think we're doing the best we can, but we've got to spend more time and energy really reaching out to families, making sure they're getting what they need.
Geoffrey, thank you for joining me. You and I spoke a few weeks ago, and I was hoping we would get a chance to talk about education, and we've had that chance. I'm going to ask that you come back and talk to us a lot about this, because these children and their parents, this problem's not going away for them anytime soon, and we need to make this as good an experience for the students who are suffering from this as we can. Geoffrey Canada is the president of the Harlem Children's Zone. Thank you, Geoffrey.
Can I just say one thing,
Yep.
which is that don't despair. Help is coming. We know that you're worried about paying your rent, making sure you have food. We're trying to organize help at every level of government. Don't give up. We're coming. Help is on the way.
All right. From a guy who actually has gone and looked at what seem to be intractable problems and solved them, we'll take that positive note. Geoffrey Canada, thank you, sir.